Hi guys, it's me Vanessa from Stronger Together Fitness Project and welcome to day 4 of our clean eating challenge. Are you still with me? I'm really glad that you're taking the time to explore more about clean eating and how you can actually make it a reality for your family. So today I want to talk about how to flavor your food without adding sugars and fats. So normally in processed foods, the way that they make them flavorful and taste good is they add a lot of sugar and a lot of fat. So if something says fat-free, they've just put a ton of sugar into it instead. So it's not really, we all know this. Fat-free is kind of, not so good for you. And so I want to talk about some ways that are clean and ways that are really low calorie and actually have good nutrients that are going to flavor your food. So when you're making your favorite meal and you're tempted to pour a bunch of oil in it or pour a bunch of, sugar or whatever, just maybe coat it in breadcrumbs and white flour that just doesn't have any nutritional value for you, there are some alternatives that you can consider. So first, acid. Acids bring a lot of flavor. They bring a lot of bright flavor, and some of the best, most delicious acids are lime juice, lemon juice, and vinegars. So I love cooking with balsamic vinegar. I love cooking with lemon and lime. You could just take a lean pork chop and season it with salt, pepper, a little garlic powder, and a squeeze of lemon, and you're good to go. I mean, it's just incredible. That brightness of flavor is really delicious, and it's really good for you. It's really clean. So a second thing that you can add to your foods that give them flavor are spices. Spice rubs, things like paprika and ginger and chili powder and curry and turmeric, like lots of spices that maybe you haven't even tried before, like saffron. They're really delicious, and I know it might be a little bit daunting or scary to play with them, but I think you'll really enjoy them. They just add like this explosion of flavor in your mouth, and a lot of spices actually are medicinal. Like you can use them to help with a lot of problems that you might have, even like clearing up your skin or helping your digestive tract. Like they're actually really, really good for you, and they have really hardly no calories, and so they're delicious. So spices are great. I encourage you to play around with spices and maybe go a little bit outside of your comfort zone, but it can really substitute in the place of some oils or fats that maybe you've used in the past. So another thing that you can use to add flavor to your foods are fresh herbs. Rosemary, basil, oregano, cilantro, chives, mint. I'm like obsessed with fresh herbs. I've been trying to grow an herb garden. Rosemary and basil are about all I've been able to sustain, but I'm not giving up because I just love the taste of fresh herbs and of course the aromatics, because half of eating is the smell of the food, and that really contributes to the taste of the food. So adding fresh herbs can really brighten up and add just an incredible flavor. And herbs also can be medicinal and just really, really good for you, and they don't add a lot of empty calories. So another thing that you can add to add texture to your flavor or to your foods, because a lot of times you might use breadcrumbs or coat things and fry them to get like that crispy texture, because we don't want to eat foods that are just all the same texture. That's part of what gives excitement to our meals, is flavor and texture and smell. So you could add nuts, crushed up nuts. I love to make this steel cut oatmeal, and I just drizzle a little bit of honey and I put some crushed up walnuts. And the oatmeal is nice and mushy and soft, but I love that texture of the crunchy walnuts, and it just adds another dimension, and it just is so delicious. And nuts are really good for you. It's a really good example of like healthy fats that can help your body, fuel your body to have lots of energy. There's so much energy in nuts and seeds. So that's one way you can add texture. You could even, really finely chop up pecans and do like a pecan crusted chicken breast or salmon instead of crusting it in breadcrumbs. So that would be delicious. You could also toast things, like you can toast coconut flakes and make them nice and like crunchy. You can toast quinoa and that gives it another flavor dimension. Also roasting vegetables and giving them like a char can really add to the flavor, and all you've done is just heated it up. There's no calories that need to be added to it, and it gives it a really incredible flavor. And you can also brown meats. So a good way that you can get like a nice brown texture to them is removing all the liquid. So just pat your beef dry if you're going to be, frying up some beef or chicken. You can pat it dry. Just put a tiny bit of coconut oil or something like that, and then it'll really get the almost like this crispy texture just by drying it off. And you don't have to add batters or anything like that, and still get really great dimension of flavor. And then also, if you're looking for that creamy texture, but you don't want to add a lot of dairy and cream, which are fats, which obviously butter, it tastes amazing, and it's hard to give up that creamy, buttery taste. But you can puree things. You can puree things like sweet potatoes. You can puree things like cauliflower, and you can also use avocados. That really has that creamy texture that you can mix into things like, if you want to make a clean casserole and mix in like a puree of cauliflower instead of a cream of mushroom soup. So these are just creative ways that you can add flavor and texture and have your meals be really exciting and really, really delicious without needing to add a ton of fats, oils, and sugars and things like that, artificial flavorings. Just use clean, fresh ingredients, and it actually, in my opinion, is going to taste way better than anything you could buy in a box. So I hope that helps.